Hello, this is Dustin with Home Mender, and today we're talking high school shop class, otherwise known as industrial arts. Back in the day, it was the male equivalent to home economics. In home ec, you learn to sew and cook and things. I was able to take both of them. You probably can't tell by looking at me, but I can sew a stitch. But fun fact about Dustin, I failed high school shop class. There was one concept I just couldn't get, and I'll share that with you. Now schools across America are phasing industrial arts out, and I did some research about why. It is stated the collective consciousness of our people are lowly, dirty, blue collar, and unprofessional. Well, at least they were right about something. So we're going to high school shop class 30 years later. Stick around if you would. I'm going to show you how. Let's get to it. I took shop class in junior high, 7th grade. I had Mr. Hundle, probably taught shop class for 50 years, and like most shop teachers, was missing a piece of his finger. And this was back in the day when teachers had no problem cussing in front of children. One of the first things we learn in shop class is how wood behaves when you work with it. If you look at the piece of wood, you can see which way the grain runs. Now this is going to be shop class home repair edition, so we'll be a little different. Let's start by taking a look at which wood to use where. Now any wood that's used inside is going to be untreated. Treated means they use salt and pressure to prepare the wood to be used outside. Any wood put outside will rot, but being salt or pressure treated will stage off the rot for 20 plus years. Untreated wood is to be used inside. On the exterior of your house, boards such as soffit, fascia, and trim, and it definitely needs to be protected with some exterior semi-gloss paint. It's not preferred to use treated wood for trim, because it doesn't look good when it's painted. The green tint of the board comes through. You also don't want to use exterior treated wood inside the house, as it's toxic when it burns. Now let's look at the sizes. With dimensional lumber, whatever size the board is, 2x4 for example, is not exactly 2 inches by 4 inches. It's only 1.5 inches thick by 3.5 inches wide. All dimensional lumber carries this same measuring system. A 1x6 is actually 3/4 inch thick by 5.5 inches wide. And this little bit of info is going to help you immensely when choosing the proper wood for your project. All right, now this is a chisel. Notice it's nice and sharp, and if you ever try to use this on anything besides wood, it better be yours. I've actually seen guys fist fight over using a wood chisel on metal. So if you had a hinge up here, say this is your hinge, you could use your chisel. Now, when it goes with the grain this way, it's gonna cut a lot easier than when it's going across the grain. By doing a hinge, you're just gonna wanna go in the thickness of the hinge. In 7th grade, I was in Augusta, Georgia at Tutt Middle School. I had just moved down from Alaska, so my classmates had fun teasing me about being an Eskimo. I was only there a couple months and didn't receive the best grade. I just couldn't get one of the projects. Now this seems easy enough, and I still haven't figured this one out. If you were to cut this wood into 5 equal pieces, how long would they be? Trying to move across the grain, you end up damaging the wood. This was my Bob Marley junior year art project. In high school, I had a Bob Marley shirt for every day of the week. Just want to take your time with it, be gentle, try not to go too deep. If you take your time and you get in there, you can make a nice, sharp, recessed hinge area. This is the most popular tool for high school shop class 30 years later. This is a circular saw used for making straight cuts. I'm gonna set my saw blade to 1.5, just like that. Wood will break with the grain, but it will not break against the grain. Nice clean break. Or you could notch it like so. We also need to know how to cut angles for the corner trim, baseboard, and quarter round. Only a couple rules to remember when doing trim. The door casing, which is the door trim, runs all the way to the floor, and then the baseboard is cut to that. If a wall is at 90 degrees, then you need two 45-degree angles to meet at the bottom to complete the wall. Sweet, made it across. Now here's the deal with the 5 equal pieces. I've tried to work this out several different ways, and no matter how long the board is or how many pieces you cut, removing the 1/16 of an inch that the saw blade cuts away, there will always be a remainder. Now, if there's some fraction genius here, please enlighten me, let me know what's going on. Also, a special bonus, there were 3 other times in this video where I would have lost points in shop class. Let's see what you can find. You know, if I couldn't get that concept back then, maybe he just wasn't that good of a teacher. Yeah, so if that's some encouragement to you if you're struggling with measuring or cutting or whatever it is, yeah, failed junior high shop class with Mr. Hundle. I hope you enjoyed high school shop class 30 years later, and if this video gave you the encouragement to try carpentry, do some measuring, why don't you learn something new? Check out another video, or check out the e-course. People are loving it. They're getting a lot of confidence. Thank you so much for letting me share about junior high, and I'm sure glad that's over. So for Home Mender, I'm Dustin. I hope you learned something today, and if you did, don't forget to click subscribe. Thanks for watching.